Hey guys, welcome to the video. So in this video, I would like to talk about what is working for a mid-sized company look like. When I was in university, I was studying computer science and was working with projects with my fellow students. The longest project would last like one semester, 4 to 5 months maximum. I was programming every day, but I had no idea what's working for a company look like. Now I've been working in a fintech company for the last 4 years. 3 years as a working student, 1 year as a full-time employee as a junior software developer. Let's jump into it and use some visuals. I'm gonna sketch something and we're gonna end up here, but we'll start from scratch. So in my team where I work, we are 6 people. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So one team lead, dev, something like this. This is the team structure. The team that I work in is the front end team. Let's call it front end team. So this is the team. We have a product owner, which is also most of the time is referred to as a PO, product owner. I said I work in a fintech company. That means we make our own software. We don't have an external client. So the users of the software actually work inside the company. So user 1, user 2, user 3. And the front end team creates a software for the user. The communication between the front end team and the users happens through the PO. So the PO would go to the users would say, hey, we would like a software that does 1, 2, 3. And the PO would gather the information, create tickets, and come with them to our team. The PO and the team lead would organize the work inside the front end team. They, like, for example, assigning the right tickets to the right people and in the right amounts, for example. They would work in a sprint. So most of the IT teams uses Agile to organize their work. So what that means is we have a sprint. A sprint can be defined in every team. In our team, it's 1 week. So we have 1 week sprint. We have a sprint. It's in our team 1 week after assigning tickets to the dev teams. And also sometimes the team lead would work with us as well. But he has also other responsibilities, but sometimes he would be assigned tickets as well. The dev team would work on these tickets in the sprint 1 week. They have 1 week time, more or less, to finish these tickets. Sometimes we manage to do everything in 1 week, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we achieve it earlier and we use this time to learn something new, for example. So the dev team works on these tickets in this sprint, in 1 week sprint. After that, we would show the result to the PO. The PO would take the software that we created, show it to the user. The user would take a look at this software, give feedback to the PO. Okay, we like this, we like that, and this needs to be improved, this has to be removed, this has to be added. And the PO again would create tickets with the help also of the team lead again, and come back to the dev team. And this cycle would go for a very long time. Some products or some projects stay alive as long as the company is alive. So we just keep going this cycle. That's more or less how developing look like. So the front end team works on feature that most of the time depends on something from the back end, like fetching data, doing something in a database, authentication, etc. So you can imagine, let's say this team, this front end team, is only dependent on one back end team. So they would have something almost identical to this structure. The two POs of the team would be in contact, would sync the two teams together. Okay, we have this feature that depends on the back-end team. Let's rename this to back-end. So the PO from the front-end team would talk to the PO from the front-end team and tell him, hey, we have this feature that needs something from the back-end, and they would sync the work together. So there is a dependency between the two teams. Sometimes one team would block the other, sometimes the work goes smooth. This is assuming we have only back-end team that we depend on, but there's most of the time the front-end team is working with multiple back-end teams. The scenario number one was talking about a dependency from the front-end team to one back-end team, but in actuality, the front-end team is dependent on multiple because they are doing multiple features, sometimes multiple projects. So there is dependency to many teams, and in the end, it would look something like this. It is not easy. Also, the POs would be talking to each other all the time to organize all this work. So it gets complicated. I think this is a good overview how working in a company look like. This is the scratch that I did it preparing before I start recording. So as we see here, we have users talk to the PO create tickets for the team. PO and team lead assign these tickets to the devs inside the team. They work in a sprint, define our team, for example, in 1 week. Sometimes it's 2 weeks. At the end of the sprint, we have results. We show it to the user. The users would go back to the PO, give feedback. They like this thing. They don't like this thing. They want a new feature, etc. PO would create tickets, give it to the devs, etc., and it would go over and over again. So yeah, and this is also the backend team. One backend team here I show, and the POs connect with each other, and we have a dependent on a two-way dependency. Yeah, guys, that was the video. Hope it was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.